You don't need more motivation. What you need is a better system. And that is what I'm going to give you. I want you to understand something. Motivation is emotional. It's loud, it's hyped, but the most important thing that you can remember is motivation is inconsistent. Some days you can wake up and you're ready to conquer the world. Other days it's like, oh, I can't even get out of bed. You feel horrible. And that's real life. If you're just sitting around waiting for motivation to come in and pick you up and carry you off into the sunset, you're going to be waiting for a long time. But if you can incorporate systems into our daily life, what we end up getting is stability. Systems are what you fall back on when everything else breaks. That makes sense? Systems create consistency in your life, not just intensity when it decides to be present. So what I want to do today is take a look at the science that backs this up. So in our brains, we have this chemical called dopamine. What dopamine does is it drives focus, it drives momentum. And what happens is it gets triggered more when we complete intentional actions than if we're just sitting around thinking about our goals. God wired us to respond to order, not to chaos. In 1 Corinthians 14 verse 40, it says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." I don't think he's just talking about church structure. I think he's talking about your life. I don't know. What do you think? Check this out. Here's what I teach. This is my personal system. This is what changed everything for me. I call it the 3A framework, okay? The 3A framework. The first thing that we do in the 3A framework is we have to anchor our mornings. Okay? If we anchor our mornings and we start that way instead of with noise, with distraction, you wake up and you start scrolling. If we do that, we've already lost. So what I teach is something that I live by. It's called the first 15. What we do is 5 minutes in scripture, and we do that to recalibrate our minds with truth. 5 minutes in gratitude. Write down 3 specific things that God has done or is doing in your life. And then 5 minutes to review your top 3 priorities for the day. What it does is that anchors our brains neurologically and spiritually for discipline, for direction, and then for anything else that might come our way during the day. The second thing we do is automate our essentials. Automate essentials. That's important. Our brains, they only have so much decision-making power each day, bandwidth, if you will. If you waste it on little things like what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear for the day, or just how to schedule your day, you're going to be drained before noon. So what we want to do is automate what we can. The good habits that we are building, right? Stuff like making meals, your routines, making your calendar blocks predictable. Even Jesus said, "Give us this day our daily bread." I want you to realize that's a system, right? Daily structure, predictable rhythms. And then the third thing is audit every night. You have to do this. This right here is where a ton of people miss the mark. They miss the growth. You do not grow by accident. You grow by reflection. Every single night, just take 3 minutes and ask yourself, what worked today? What didn't? Where did I get distracted? What can I do better tomorrow? What changes can be made? And then listen. Listen. That's the key. Write down your top 3 goals for the next day. Not 30, not 13, just 3. The 3 things that matter the most, the hard stuff, right? The stuff that moves that needle in your life forward. Because if you don't name them ahead of time, what happens is you drift towards the easy instead of what's essential. I used to do that all the time. And now I do this every single night. And if I can do it, I know you can. But that's really, those 3 things, that's how you win the morning. And systems, I can tell you, they're not sexy. They don't get a lot of applause, but if you can implement them into your life, what happens is you get results. There's no question in the world, if you're tired of living by emotion, then start living by intention. Your life doesn't rise to your potential, it falls to your patterns. So let's build the patterns that reflect the life that God designed for you to live. Let's go.